So we're here today to talk about a certain topic, and it is called "Who is the best Scream killer?" So I want you guys to give me some full in-depth reasons on why it is Roman Bridger, because it's hands down Roman Bridger.
He's my number two. He's my number two. I'll give you that.
Well, he should be your number one. So I want to know why he's not your number one.
Well, first off, excellent job setting the tone, Zach. I mean, that was magnificent.
I mean, when you have some whiskey, it kind of changes things.
Yeah, and you know what? I always admired you for your beard, because I can't grow that. I got the 5 o'clock shadow, or I can do like the whiskered beard, but I can't grow what you got. So, props to you on that as well. Double props. But I don't know.
Thank you.
Set the tone.
Well, thank you.
I feel like I feel my audio. Hold on, the car's running by.
It's kind of like that motorcycle that blasted over you last episode.
Oh yeah, welcome to Astoria. But that's exactly what set the tone for us. Like, why Roman?
You got to think about it, dude. The man, regardless of what the production notes said, there was two killers. Not two killers in the final cut. It's one fucking killer. Okay, I don't want to hear this Angelina bullshit. Yeah, when they were making the movie, she might have been the second killer, but it's one guy, man. One guy mowed down these fucking people throughout the whole movie, created an intricate plot to mastermind this whole thing, coerced Billy, who then coerced Stu. I mean, he's responsible for it all, man. I mean, how can you not give the guy any credit? I'm not discrediting Billy and Stu. I really love Billy and Stu. They're great killers, but you got to give credit where credit's due with Roman, man. He was a good mastermind, dude, and he almost pulled it off, but he was fucking with Sidney Prescott. That was
if you go just by like the script,
bro, why are you laughing, dude?
It's Roman. If I agree with that point. Like Roman, without Roman, there's no Scream 1. So if you're gonna go by that, that's a valid argument. That is a valid argument.
It's not even 5 minutes. What is it? 5 minute? Check the runtime. It's not even 5-6 minutes, and Rupert's already starting with me. He's already starting. Go on.
Look, he's absolutely right. If Roman doesn't coerce Billy into doing the whole thing, there is no Scream.
Well, let me ask you this: Do you think Billy would have done it? Let's take Roman out of the picture entirely. Would they still have massacred Maureen Prescott? Because didn't he just find out about Maureen sleeping with banging his dad, and that's what caused him to kill her? Yeah. I don't know. Like, I mean, that's a question, but that's an answer that we would find in an alternate universe. In this universe, he did it.
Alternate universe.
He was coerced by Roman, and that's why he came up with the whole plan, and he did his thing. So Roman, in a lot of senses, that's why I have him number 2. I have Jill Roberts number 1. That's my number 1 from Scream 4, because this is the only reason, because she got away with it, right? She made it out the climax exactly how she beat Sidney. It's not her fault that Sidney turned out to be Michael Myers with like a million fucking lives, but she did her thing. Her plan worked. It just so happens that Sidney survived, and then in the hospital they had that second, like in wrestling you call it a false ending, right? They had the false ending at the house, and then in the hospital they had the real ending, and so she ended up losing. But if they would have kept it the way it was supposed to be, she would have won. She would have been the ultimate final girl, and nobody's plan worked in any other movie except for her.
Dude, quick question: how do you think more badass Scream 4 would have been if Jill had gotten out of the hospital and just disappeared, went off the grid? That would have been sick.
I think they should just ended it at the house. There should have been no hospital.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't like the hospital scene. It was too where the fuck is everybody type thing, Well,
I'll push back on. I'll agree and push back. I agree they should have ended it. It's always funny. These movies are all good. And then when you realize the original stories, or like the original idea for the movies, were like so much better, it almost like begs the question, like, why can't every movie be like this? You know what I mean? Like the studio or like any interference ends up being a good movie in a Scream movie. But like the regular, like, can you imagine them ending on a cliffhanger? Hey, we got a live one.
Oh yeah.
Woodsboro Film Club, the toxicity in that club, who knows what the hell is going to happen in that. But the build up for Scream 5, I mean, you're doing the next, director, writer, whatever for the installment, you're doing them a huge favor and passing them. You're leaving them a dry aged freaking Wagyu steak in the fridge for them to eat when they show up at your Airbnb for all intents and purposes when you're doing that. But Rupert, what you said, Zach already laid the groundwork. We can't lay. That's why I was laughing, Zach, because you stole all the talk. You stole half the talking points against Roman. I said, well, the writers said that Angelina, there was a real second killer, and then they did away with it. Well, now you're doing away with that argument. We can't do it with Jill. So her plan didn't work. And the alternate universe is the universe where they went with the original ending, which they didn't. In reality, all we heard was clear, and then, the end of her plan as we know.
But what I'm saying is, in the climax, her plan worked. In the climax, Billy and Stu's plan didn't work.
What about the resolution?
Didn't work.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, in the climax, though, it did work. That's my point.
Listen, she was.
It only prolonged it. She still failed in the end, grand scheme of things.
It was two-pronged. She was fighting a past her prime Sydney. So, if you're beating the Lakers now, past his prime LeBron James, okay, yeah, you beat the King, but, it's not 07 LeBron. It's not, 97 my MJ. You're beating a past your prime, even fighter, if we want to go that way. You know what I mean? So that's minus points for Jill. Minus points for Jill, too, because she followed Stu and Billy's plan too much because she knew where to stab people where it wouldn't be fatal. They're doing the play stab. You're supposed to do that with your accomplice, not your freaking targets, okay? That's why her plan didn't work. I will give a excellent pick on your part because that's not usually, the number one pick for people that they make. And I got to say, she almost got away with it. I like her. One of the best scenes is her kicking her own ass at the end. She's throwing herself all around the house, all around the, up against the pictures on the ground, just making it look exactly like she wanted it to look. And, I think I was laughing out loud when I saw that. And I was like, man, but in a good way, I was like, man, she is crazy.
Yeah.
And I believe her motive. I didn't believe as much. I'm like, okay, you're blaming all your problems and insecurities on other people. Like just, this is all inward BS. Wow. Cry me a river. Who cares? But her execution, I mean, there's there's no questions there. I respect all of that. No question. And, I respect that pick as your most effective. Roman, he's kind of another one that's like, when you really think about it, he isn't that effective because this guy is just a whiny bitch, and he didn't have the guts. He didn't have the cojones. He didn't have the heart to stand up to his own mother. And he entrusted and put some dopey high school kid who wasn't even a jock, wasn't even part of the football team, basketball team, baseball team. He didn't run track. He wasn't even, for all intents and purposes, we didn't know if he was like a hot shot going to Harvard or any sort of, university or who knows what. He was a grifter. He entrusted that dope to carry out his bidding. Why don't you do it? Grab your cojones and do it yourself, Mister. I'm a director. I direct.
Hold on. It's smart though because he didn't want to get it. He didn't want to get his hands dirty. He did it the smart way.
Exactly.
It's stupid. And we know why he didn't want to get his hands dirty, because when he went up against Sidney Prescott, Sidney was freaking landing haymakers on him like Clubber Lang, freaking just one hook after another, smoking him. So when all the games were over and it was time to reveal your mask, he was really just the And I'll tell you one thing. I like all these killers. Roman, I actually like him, but when we're in this discussion, it's almost like, oh, I think, Isaiah Thomas is the greatest basketball player of all time. So-and-so's garbage. So-and-so's garbage. I'm like, whoa, hey, I don't want to. Isaiah Thomas is awesome. I love the guy. But now you're trashing these other people. Hold on. Now we got to put Roman under the microscope and say, well, you're trying to compare him to these other greats. Is it gonna put him at number one? I don't know. And I'm going to bring those rewrites into question too, because, Angelino is supposed to be his number two, but they decided to do without him. So he's kind of a cheater too in that regard.
You said how
I know
he's not number one and how Joe's not number one. Let's hear it. Put your money where your mouth is. Who's your number one?
Unfortunately, it's obvious.
Oh no!
It's obvious.
No.
I'm sorry.
No.
You're gonna try to tell me Halloween Resurrection's the best movie in the Halloween franchise? There's only so much hipster you can go. There's clear choices. I'm sorry.
That's the easiest answer, though, man.
It's the obvious answer. I'm telling you, Jill would be a good.
Literally, all the killers did better than Billy and Stu.
Literally,
all the movies.
Literally and figuratively and metaphorically, they did not. And I'm going to tell you
What
why.
do you mean? Why not?
How do you know what the hell you're going to do if there's no blueprint? How do you know what kind of house you're going to build if there's no damn blueprint? They laid down the blueprint and everyone ran with it. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Mr. Director said, let me see what these guys do. Ooh, they did a good job there. Let me, buy this voice changer on Amazon. They didn't see that coming. I'll add that to their plan. So I'm sorry. Plus, they were more entertaining and they were more sadistic with their phone calls. They dragged it out. No, I'm sorry. Forget about it. They knew how to stage the scene better, and they didn't rely on rewrites to make them tougher villains than they really were.
Well,
I'm injecting that into the story.
If anything, Roman kind of got the shit end of the deal because Scream 3 was plagued with, let's tone this down. He didn't get to be the gory killer like he should have been if it was like going to be a hard R movie. So he got screwed.
Well, if they had the original plan for Scream 3, Roman wouldn't have been the killer to begin with. It would have been our boy Stu.
That's true. And then in that case, Stu would have been top dog for me if that would have happened. That would have been money.
So I'm picking them too because everything that happened was directly related to their target in Sydney. Everything was connected. Drew Barrymore's kill directly connected to her setting the tone. The girl sitting right next to you in class. Every death meant something to Sydney. Everything was meant to torment their target. And the killer's right under your nose. Well, they were playing a "Don't Fear the Reaper" cover song. While he's jumping through the boyfriend's jumping through the window. That's sadistic, and his motive was clear. It's revenge for her. The breakup of his parents. Relationship. So, I think to retroactively answer your question, what he would have killed, Sydney's mom regardless, because Billy, he was you could tell he was kind of something off to begin with. He's crazy to begin with. That thing that happened with his Sydney's mom was just an excuse to act out. And Stu, I would probably put him number one because he was the wild card, the craziest one, and he was just along for the ride. That guy, there's no predictability. He's unpredictable. He's out of his freaking mind, and all they know is they love horror movies, and they're younger. Everyone knows teenagers, younger people, they don't have emotional intelligence.
They don't have the frontal cortex.
Yeah, any teacher
developed.
out there, you know what I'm talking about. Young kids are the worst. When it comes to emotional intelligence, they don't care about it. They're going to do what they're going to do. They're not developed. So they don't know the consequences of their actions yet. So that's why they're full throttle to the metal, going to do it regardless.
But here's the thing, though. Jill killed her own mother.
Was it Jill, though, or was it Charlie? Is it ever specifically stated?
I'm pretty sure it was Jill. Because
oh, wait, she did say, fuck, I even killed my own mother. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So on a gangster level, that's up to a 10. You know what I mean? As far as commitment is concerned.
Jill too, but you know, she gets points docked off because of her accomplice. I mean, we're talking about what kind of gang has that guy in your gang? I mean, come on.
So
it's not too hard to get enlisted in that gang, if you know what I mean.
Let me ask you this. So
you have followers.
You talk about Stu being unpredictable, just basically a psychopath, you know, unpredictable psychopath, doing it for fun. How is he, if anything, Mickey's the same exact as him. Mm-hmm. So how does that make Stu a better killer than Mickey? If anything, go ahead.
It wouldn't be, you know, Mickey is just so overshadowed by Mrs. Loomis because Mrs. Loomis probably has the best motive out of everyone.
Well, she has the most real motive, right? Like she has the most, like anybody would want to avenge the loss of their kid, you know? So she has the most like, okay, I can connect with that motive. But other than that, like everybody's motives are kind of like flimsical at best, you know, except for Billy. I guess Billy has a good motive, but other than that, it's kind of like, you know, meta, especially in the later movies with Jill and oh man, why am I drawing a blank? What's Huey's name?
Boy, you're so bad with names, bro. Richie.
What's Huey's name? Richie and old girl from and you know what's funny? She got burned alive too in the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood movie.
Yeah, that's old news, bro.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys knew that.
Yeah, I knew it. Yeah.
Well, it's new news. I haven't finished watching the movie, so I don't know. But
shit, my bad.
Spoiler alert.
It's been like 4 years.
I'm not gonna. I don't remember.
It's too long for Tula anyway. That's like a 3-hour movie.
But I'm not gonna argue against that. But but I think that they're just victims of, you know, the later the longer you go in these movies, motives are directly, you know, correlated to the respective installments.
Yeah.
So, you know, Scream 4, you know, exactly their time, what was hot at the time, what's hot at the time now, and what's hot at the time. So it's going to be directly related to that. I will dock points off of Scream 5 retroactively because of the motive. They said it's going to be directly related to the original, and it had nothing to do with the original. Just because in the trailer, yeah, it's more. This feels different, and then I think in the text it said this is you know, all goes back to the original. It's something to go back to the original. They always alluded to it being back to the original.
I mean, it kind of did though. Maybe not in the motive, but the movie.
Well, that's the motive.
Scream 5 doesn't happen without Scream 1.
Right, but that's the motive of the house. Who cares about the house? The motive goes back to the original. So you're thinking it's got something to do with the OG.
You're inferring it though.
They put it in there because they thought we would infer it. Why would you put it in there?
But I think what they meant is that it has to do with the original because they're rewriting the sequels essentially, and they're rebooting the franchise. That's why it's meta.
Do you think that's a strong sell? You know, I don't think so.
I agree with you. There's not a strong sell. I do agree with you. I'm just saying that.
I understand what you're saying.
Being disingenuous. I don't know. You
know
what I mean?
You know, I should have got a writing credit for the astronaut's wife because my writing credit directly applies to, you know, what you were saying right there. It's, you know, have you ever seen that movie?
No,
I haven't.
It's with Charlize Theron and Johnny Depp, but it has one of the greatest catchphrases that I still use to this day, and it applies right now. Johnny Depp says in the trailer, says, "Everything you see, I see. Everything you think, I know." And I already knew what you were telling me right there. And, it's disingenuous I think it's brilliant marketing, but it's disingenuous for them to allude to it tying back to the original and saying, well, it does on a technicality.
But that's what I mean.
It almost seems an objection in a courtroom that gets overruled by a technicality, and you're like, okay, it's not really relevant.
But we're dealing with black and white here, right? Does it connect to the original? Yes. Here's the thing, though. Like, this is kind of like a lot of the same problems that Marvel's having is that, and Star Wars is that fans infer things from what people say, and they make their fan theories, and then when those theories don't pan out, they cry foul. You
You
can't do that.
Yeah.
You got to just look at what is put in front of you and make your opinions based on that.
Star Wars was fucking ruined by that shit.
Right, but the fact is, those are put in place out in the marketing and the trailers for a specific reason, and you got to deliver.
Original though, it
does. You got to deliver. It doesn't though. When you say it doesn't, and for God's sakes, the trailer had Sidney Prescott in it, half the time, and it didn't have her in the movie. So the whole thing was a marketing deception. That basically, I'm saying that docs. That's why they're not at number one for me. But
they don't need to be anywhere near
number one. Yeah.
No, hell no.
No, like I wouldn't have them. Like my top three is.
They're probably at the bottom.
Yeah. No, my top three is number one, Jill. Number two, Roman, and number three, Mrs. Loomis.
So where would Billy and Stu rank on yours?
Next. After Mrs. Loomis. Because here's the thing about Mrs. Loomis is that, like, how much have you guys seen anything aside from Mickey? Who did she kill?
Randy.
She killed Randy.
She did. She killed Randy.
Yeah.
But she was like a mastermind for the most part.
Yeah.
And she killed Mickey and she killed Randy. She built it from the foundation, and she almost pulled it off. If it wasn't for Colin Weary doing the ex Dios Machina, like, she would have won.
Outside of her mom, did Jill kill anybody, or did Charlie do all the dirty work?
I think Charlie did most of the dirty work, because, like, you got to remember, she was in the house when the pretty girl next door, I forget her name,
Olivia was getting
when she got killed. And then she wasn't around for Kirby. Who else dies in that? She could have stabbed. She could have stabbed Gail.
The cops.
Though.
Yeah.
Oh, and the cops.
But,
yeah, she probably killed the cops.
But the point of that was, Mrs. Loomis got way more blood on her hands than Jill did. I think Mrs. Loomis is very underrated.
Well, Jill basically knew her accomplish. Charlie was simping for Jill, and so you could pretty much do whatever. She could pretty much tell him to do whatever the hell.
Yeah, he's a
jump off a bridge, and he would have done it head first. So that's easy, and that's realistic because that's how a lot of these high school kids are. Yeah, they're very emotional, all that stuff. But it also tied for the very reason, I praise Stu and Billy. With the lack of emotional intelligence, lack of awareness for the consequences of their own actions. It applies here to Jill and Charlie. So it almost makes it, scarier because they got nothing to lose. They have nothing to lose. And I can understand your rankings, and I can understand why you ranked them the way they did. 1 through 4, I can argue against. I can argue for as much as I can argue against. I want Miss Loomis to be the top because her motive is the strongest, and I still, to this day, wish that she I wish she did more of a number on Sydney and almost had her, um, within death's grasp, but it didn't happen that way. So I don't know. I just think that the Billy and Stu get number one, for their effectiveness, their torment, their sadisticness, playing around with their victims, staging, their deaths too, how they staged Becker's death too. And they're all directly tormenting their target. Whereas, Roman, Sydney doesn't know who the hell the castmates are in the freaking movie. She doesn't know who the hell half the people that are dying are in the movie. And if anything, Roman's a crappy director because he's killing off his freaking cast and is tanking his damn movie. So he can't even freaking direct. Oh, I'm a director. I direct. No, you ruin your own movies, Roman.
Well, I think his goal was to get rid of them so he can start a new movie. But, dude, outside of Casey Becker, man, Billy and Stu's kills were just as generic as the other ones.
They're all directed and correlated to Sydney, and they tormented.
Yeah,
Sydney.
but how many times did they whiff on Sydney though? They whiff on Sydney like 3 times during the movie.
It's all part of the plan, and the person.
No,
it's all
I don't know about that, dude.
Plan, baby. We gotta have the big finale at the house.
No way. That's just because that's what the script tells you. But
that's what reality tells you.
If the scene where Dewey has a mask like this, right, and that scene in the house when they think it's Billy, right, because he drops the phone, that was Billy trying to kill her. You need to tell me if Sydney doesn't fall, break her ankle, Billy doesn't kill her right then and there. Come on now, he tried and failed. That's what happened.
If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, hey,
what do you do?
He gets to torment her again. You can't kill her unless she has sex. You got to follow the rules, bro. Go back and watch the movie. It's all part of the plan. Follow the rules. He knew what was up. He knew this was a fake setup. It's all part of the plan.
To get what out of it? What was he going to get out of that
movie? That's why he's crazy. This is what he does. It's too great. It flew over your head. You got to watch the movie again. Get re-educated real quick. There's no reruns.
No, I think he was surprised that Sydney actually fought back. He wasn't expecting that.
I think that.
See, that's your problem. You use too stinking. That's your problem. You stinking. That's your first problem.
I think. Hey, man, I'm just saying. Like, I believe that Zach is right. I think Sydney's grit surprised them, and then they set an audible after that. They adjusted fire as they went on, but his goal was to kill Sydney in that house.
They were fighting Sydney in her prime. Okay, so there you go. They lost the fight, but that was the biggest challenge. This is how you do, like with Mayweather and all these fighters in their prime. That's what happened. Roman was, fighting a recluse Sydney who was like, all right, I guess I'll come out of hiding. He already knows where I am. She's kind of down on her luck, and he was still getting smacked around like no one's business.
Yeah, but she didn't miss a step, man. Once they started fighting, she had some moves to her.
Yeah.
And Roman was such a choker. How did he not shoot her in the head? You got
plot armor, bro. Come on.
No, hold on. Time out. Like, you can't just shoot people in the head, bro. Like, I hate when people
that's
say
all they do that's all they do in Scream movies. The killers. Bang.
Yeah. But once they're on the ground and they're not moving, I'm just saying, like, in a move, if you have a gun in your hand and you're trying to shoot someone in the head and they're a moving target, you have to be.
She was on the ground.
She was on the ground. Yeah.
Bang bang. She shot her twice.
Roman even took the time
Scream
to.
3. Yeah.
Scream 3.
Yeah. What you
I'm just
think?
saying, like, in general, people say you just shoot them in the head, and I'm like, that's not as easy as you think it is.
Oh yeah, of course not. Of course not.
No. I'm not saying that. No. But what I don't get is Dewey not learning his lesson because he shoots Roman in the head after being told to. Why would you not shoot? This is my problem with Scream 5. And I told this to Gabe when we did our retrospective video. I get it. It's plot armor. It's a movie. You won't have the finale. But in real life, it's like, in the hospital, when Dewey shoots Amber, she falls back. He goes to help Richie up to get out of there. The first thing I'm doing is grabbing the mask, shooting her in the fucking head. You know, it's like, why wouldn't you do that, Dewey? You should have known by shooting Roman in the head, you should have shot Amber in the head. You know,
here's the thing though. Like if we want to get
it.
that real with it, you can't just shoot someone in the head.
I know. Again, it's a movie. I get it, but
yeah, if we're gonna get that real with it, if you shoot someone in the head, that's no longer self-defense. That's your overkill. That's murder. Like any DA worth their salt is gonna hem you up for just shooting a defenseless person on the ground in the head.
Bro, so that ain't defenseless. The homie just had a knife trying to kill him. I mean, come on.
No, but that doesn't change the fact they're on the ground. You've eliminated the threat. If you walk up, I'm telling you, look, just
that's an easy rebuttal. They had a plot. They had a Kevlar. There was a killer, and she was protecting two innocent people, and he was attacked. That's 100% self-defense, regardless. It's not that anyone would know that. They would settle. There wouldn't even be a case.
You can't. What I'm saying is that you can't. I don't know how to say the word in English, but you can't overkill. Like
it's not overkill.
And then go and shoot them in the head. Yes, that's 100.
That is not overkill.
Making sure they're dead.
That's not overkill.
That's what Sidney did to Mrs.
That's what
Loomis
killed
and
them.
Billy.
That's what killed them.
Yeah,
what would have killed them is the headshot.
Yeah, you got to make sure these killers are dead, bro. Come on.
The question, the main thing with Dewey is he reloaded on the walk up. He should have reloaded already and then walked up and popped her.
And then they did the whole Mamata thing where he
being a cop. You know, what'd you say? The whole what?
They did the whole Mamata thing too, with where he gets.
I didn't hear it the first time. That's funny.
I was hoping you said that, bro. I was like, did you say Mamata? Oh man, that's funny, dude.
I love you, Z, baby. I love
you. Man. I wanted to say that so nonchalantly. But no, they did the whole Mamata thing where he got distracted by the phone, you know? Like, come on, dude. Like, dude, come on, man. Just
if they did the right, because if anything, he was going to get distracted. You know, that was a good way for them to do it. And I forgot about that. I was arguing with Rupert about it afterwards, and I was like, oh yeah. I saw the clip, I was like, oh yeah, that's how he looked down and he got distracted.
We saw Scream 5 together, didn't we not?
Yeah.
In Queens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had a lot of fun at the theaters too.
Yeah,
so
I remember texting y'all that night.
Yeah.
I saw it with Jordan and Gabe. I saw it with Jordan and Gabe, dude.
Yeah.
It was we had a good time, dude. So with Jordan and Gabe, we were just good time, man.
I mean, look, man, like these movies. Ultimately, I think we're grasping at straws, right? Like we're splitting hairs. Is a better analogy. Like these movies are fun. They're good. They know what they are. The killers all are good. Like there hasn't been yet a killer that I'm just like, man, fuck this guy. You know what I mean? Like
you can go to the playoffs and build around all these killers. You know, as their first, you know, as a go-to players on a team, they're all franchise players. There's no question.
So with that being said, let me ask you this. Jill is the GOAT. You're dying on that hill, bro. I swear.
Oh yeah.
I will say if they would have done the original thing for Scream 3, holy shit, that would have been just epic.
With the Colt and stuff?
With Colt and then Stu running it from prison. Like, come on, dude.
The following storyline just had a Scream 3. That would have been great.
That would have been money.
They should probably do that for, 6, because especially in New York, the density of the population, they could be ghost faces everywhere.
I'm telling you, man, do that shit. Lead up to 7 with the return of Stu. Go out with a bang. Come on, man. Bring Sydney back for a small part in 6. Lead it up to the showdown with her and Stu at 7.
Watch out! Don't bring up Sydney. I don't want Rupert to get in trouble in the comment section. Let's end this right now. He's gonna say something disrespectful. Yeah. Let's just cut it.
Where you at, Ashley Perkins?
No, I mean, look, everybody knows that Gail Weathers is the real final girl in Scream franchise.
Oh, come on!
Yeah, right. He's not joking.
On that, agree. On that Mamata note, we're getting out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck out of here. All right, man. We'll be back for this dude said Gail Weathers, man. Come on, bro. That's like saying Laurie Strode's a better final girl than Sydney Prescott, man. You're just talking shit at this point.
I'm just talking shit. And you guys fall right into the trap.
I'm just trying to goad the crowd against you. Here we go. Just trying to.
Hey, man. Everybody knows
that's actually a good
right.
topic, dude. Better final girl, Laurie Strode or Sydney Prescott? Might have to save that for another day.
Just by sheer volume, you know.
No, we know Rupert would
more fucking movies.
We know Rupert would instantly shoot down Sydney because he hates Nev Campbell. So it would be Laurie for him. That's no question.
I would 100%. I put Laurie.
That's too. You got to introduce someone else. So that's Sydney all day.
Yeah. I know.
You would have to do like a ranking, you know. But who?
She don't need no alternate storyline to bring her back.
Jennifer Love Hewitt is number one final girl.
For I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't put her number one.
She'd make the March Madness tournament. There's no question, but
over Sydney and Laurie and Alice and Nancy. Like,
listen, Laurie, she got clipped. She's on camera. Yeah. She got whacked. So
Alice and Nancy got clipped.
Disqualified. She's disqualified.
Yeah, so they're disqualified too.
Alice got
Nancy went out in a heroic fashion, though.
Yeah, she did.
So she had a heroic death, and she came back in Rupert's favorite sequel, New Nightmare. Which I'm still upset about that too. Let's not.
I kind of am too, man.
We got to end this right now because it's open a can of worm.
Yeah, well, and Alice kind of went out like a bitch too. As much as I liked her in Friday 1, they disrespected her, man.
Alice was let me tell you, she, that was outside circumstances why they wrote it that way, but she was, what a final act.
yeah. It's unfortunate, man, the way they got rid of her. But
she doesn't make it just because the sheer volume of movies that she's only in 2, so.
That's true. Yeah. Shit, 1.5, 1.25. That
is she a final girl? No, she's of one movie. Then you make that argument, but of a franchise, that's a whole different thing.
Jessica Biel, baby. Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Yeah, I'm not discrediting her.
She only showed up in 2.
It's Sydney Prescott. It's Nev Campbell. That's
no. That was just a little jab. Yeah. But all right, man. Let's wrap this up. We'll be back probably next week with another topic. We'll think of something clever.
Oh, yeah.
Leave it in the comments section. Something that you guys want us to, give us suggestions.
That's
and if they have fire, then we'll go get it.
Yeah, we'll turn this into a heated discussion. But
Michael Sula, aka the Skip Bayless of the.
You're the Skip Bayless. You're the Skip Bayless. I have to be your advocate. I'm your attorney. I'm trying to. Hey, shut up!
You're not gonna more like the district.
Be on the stand. You're gonna get eviscerated.
You're more like the DA. Is what
you're the problem client. You're my problem client. That's what you are.
Well, it's better than being Stephen A. Smith.
That is true.
Now, this man essentially, fucking reading the goddamn thesaurus every day, man. Holy shit! But yeah, all right. Let's bounce,
I hope
man.
You keep that part in.
Nah, I'm taking that shit out, dude.
See you guys later.
All right, we'll see y'all next time. Later. Thanks for joining me, guys. Love you guys.